Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you with another garage gun talk tonight. Just got done filming all of the garage portion of the range report of the car CT380, and I might be a little bit harsh on this one. I don't know, you guys will have to tell me. I'll send to my Patreons once I get the video edited and uploaded and all that kind of fun stuff, and I'm curious what their thoughts are going to be. Today, I wanted to talk about an upcoming project and a safety Sally. Yes, a safety Sally. Now, I don't blame people in the gun world for being, safe and all this kind of stuff, but it's kind of funny because sometimes in my videos, I will get people that be like, "You didn't clear that firearm. You didn't show it was clear before filming and talking about it." I'm like, I'm out here in the garage by myself. I don't have to do that. But also, you have to assume that all firearms are cleared and checked before I, make any reviews on them. And anytime I show myself pulling the trigger, I do show that it is clear, or if I field strip it or what have you. But I got somebody, I guess he found my channel, and he spammed 10 or 15 of my videos. And I had to just ban him. He's like, "You didn't safety check that firearm. You didn't safety check that firearm." It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, I know that getting back to the car, I already know what some people are going to say because I had a really interesting conversation with my next door neighbor, Phil, who lent the Springfield Echelon to the channel. We were talking about this gun because I took this gun to the range at the same time as the Springfield. And I was telling him that I know that when I make a video on this gun and release it, I'm going to get some criticism of people telling me that I got the gun completely wrong, because anything that I criticize about this gun, oh, it's not a bug, it's a feature, or it's awesome, or whatever it is. And I was talking about how I get a lot of people on the more affordable guns that I review will take any criticism and take it very personal. And they'll act like, or they're looking for reviews of their $200 or $300 gun to perform as well as a $2,000 or $3,000 gun. And he made a really interesting observation, and he's absolutely right, because I see it in the music world. But Phil, he has a lot of hobbies, very expensive hobbies. And one of his hobbies, for example, is astrophotography. And he has some really nice telescopes and photography equipment. And he's even had his photos published in, scientific journals and the NASA photo of the day and all that kind of stuff. It's really impressive, the stuff that he's captured. And he talks, or he mentioned when we were talking about this gun and what I know people are going to say about it in response to what I say. He says, in every hobby, there's always those people. They buy the cheapest stuff, and then they complain when the people that have the better stuff criticize the cheaper stuff. We're not saying you can't buy the cheaper stuff, or we're not saying the cheaper stuff doesn't work, but you can't compare a car CT380 to a $6,000, Nighthawk Custom. But there are people out there that will, because they want to believe that, for example, that even though they can't afford the $6,000 Nighthawk, which, by the way, I can't afford it either. I've been lucky enough to review them, but I don't have one in my collection. But I can definitely tell you the $6,000 Nighthawk is way better than this thing. But people will want to defend their purchases. I kind of look at it like watches. I'll tell you a little secret about me. I know this is something that's very superficial and vain, but I will tell you something that I have always wanted in my life. And yes, I do want a transferable machine gun, but there's something else I've always wanted. A Rolex watch. Always wanted a Rolex watch. I do not care about fashion, as you guys can tell. But there's something I've always just wanted to have. I've always wanted to own a Rolex watch. I will probably never own one because of the cost. I mean, I'm sure I could sell a bunch of my guns and get one if I really wanted one. But it's not worth it to me, But the idea of owning a Rolex is cool. And so I have looked at these, fake Rolexes and things just to go, I can't get a real one. But if I ever bought one of those fake Rolexes, I would not go around acting like, oh, this fake Rolex is just as good as a real one, even though it has a similar movement and all this kind of stuff. No, it's a fake Rolex. I know exactly what I bought, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I can fully say that, I can buy a $300 fake Rolex and be happy with that for what it is as compared to, an $8,000, $10,000, or $20,000 Rolex. It's just the way it is. And that's okay. As I said, I can admit that, and I would buy that fake Rolex temporarily, be like, yeah, it's not real, and I know it's not as good as the original. But people in the gun world that and through whatever situation brings them to that point, maybe they can only afford this, which is fine because the Second Amendment is for everybody, and I'm glad that there's affordable guns that work, and I'm glad that they're happy with them. But people should not live in some type of delusional world that a $200 gun is the same as a $5,000 gun. But they really do, and they're always looking for that confirmation bias. So, anyway, there's always people in those hobbies that will always criticize, the higher end stuff. When people say that the higher end stuff is better than their cheap stuff, it's just the way the world works. Works in music with musical instruments. Works that way in astrophotography apparently. And definitely in firearms. So anyway, I had that Safety Sally, had to ban him. I'm assuming that person's probably new to guns, but I'm not gonna put up with that. It's funny too is that when people watch gun videos, they don't think about the situation that somebody else might be in. So right now, I'm out here in the garage, all to myself. Okay, there's nobody else here. Nobody else here. So I can take this pistol, which I'll talk about in a second, and I can, move it around the room. Notice I'm not pointing it at myself, right? But because I know that there's nobody here, I'm not breaking any rules of gun safety, right? But anyway, it's just the way it is, And so I get tired of people occasionally that just spam my videos, because I don't think I handle guns unsafe. But you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Well, let's talk about a upcoming project. Now, I'm kind of surprised I have not reviewed one of these. In my mind, I thought I actually had. Now, this is also Phil's, who's my next door neighbor. When we were at the range, we were talking about cheaper guns. And he says, you know what? I have a cheaper gun that I bought when I first got into guns. Everyone said it was great. The reviews were awesome. And this one sucks. I don't trust it. It has malfunctions. I don't think it's accurate. And I'm like, what is it? He goes, it's a Bursa Thunder 380. Yeah, I thought I had reviewed one. Maybe I got it confused with another gun that kind of looks the same. Because I think it's kind of based off of the maybe the Walther PPK or the SIG P. What is it? The 232? Is that what it is? The 232? I think it is. It kind of looks like that. Obviously, it has the recoil spring around the barrel. Has that same styling, but it comes apart like a SIG, not a PPK. And chambered it in a 380. So he lent this to the channel. So I will be reviewing this. And he said there's no time constraint on this one because this is a gun that he bought, hated, doesn't trust, put it into the safe, and hasn't touched it in years. So I can hold on to it for a little bit. And that's going to be the plan. Has a slide decocker, slide mounted safety on it. Let me see what the trigger pull's like on it. Yeah, it's long and heavy, double action. Ooh, single action has that's kind of gritty and mushy. Ugh, don't like that. But I had not reviewed one of these before. So I checked my I checked my videos, and maybe if I had, I don't have the original video. I've reviewed so many guns, sometimes I forget what I have. This gun says it's made in Argentina, so take that for what it's worth. So an upcoming project, add it to the list of guns I need to review. So that one's probably going to go to the bottom of the list right now because I got all these other guns that I've held on to for too long of people for a couple of weeks, and I got to get them back. But anyway, I'm chugging along, making tons of videos. So what do you guys think about Safety Sallies? What do you guys think about people that always feel like they have to defend their purchases, and will get upset if they have a $200 piece of equipment in a hobby, and when people talk about how good a $2,000 piece of equipment is, they get all offended. And what do you think about the Bursa Thunder? And is there anything about that gun that you like, don't like, or anything I should take into consideration before I review it? So that's all I got for you tonight for the Garage Gun Talk. Sometimes these things are in-depth, long, and interesting, and sometimes it's just basic chatting. That's it. Just talking about guns, which is what this whole channel is about. Just kind of behind the scenes. So anyway, hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. It is Christmas Eve, so I hope you have a wonderful Christmas Eve. and a Christmas day. I'm sure I'll make a video and come to you and talk about something. So anyway, Merry Christmas. And as always, hold on. Word of the day. I always forget the word of the day. Okay, hold on. I caught myself just before I ended the video. What's the word of the day? Safety. Safety is the word of the day because I had to deal with a safety Sally. Okay, so there we go. Word of the day, safety Sally. If you watched to the end, use that in the comment, and I know you watched to the end. So, as always, thanks for joining me here in the garage and just talking about guns. I always enjoy it. And as always, thanks for watching.